Welcome to a very special episode of the Josh Smith podcast show. This video contains information about ADHD. I have a few friends that have got this as well, so I'm hoping they've been watching this video and taking so much information as all this guidance can help everyone that suffers with it. So, ADHD is a attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Brownie points for me for getting that right. I am here in the company of Ari Serap. Hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, correct.
You reached out to me on Facebook on the podcasting Facebook page.
Right.
You saw my picture as a youngster in me little waistcoat when I was modelling. No need to brag there. Thank you again for reaching out, and it's an honour to be doing this overseas. Obviously, I'm not with you, but it's technically still overseas through a live stream platform. So it's an honour. Thank you so much. You've got a lot of information to give people out there that will help them as much as possible. We'd like to hear from it, but we'd like to hear first of all, we'd like to hear how you got into it because that's always interesting to find out what made Ari learn ADHD.
Right. So again, right, my name's Ari. I'm originally from Las Vegas, but I live in Israel, right, for almost 10 years. Okay. And I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 4. And I
All
was put
right.
on medication at age 4 for ADHD. Um, we won't go so into that, right? But I've had to deal with ADHD my entire life. And the way that I was taught how to deal with it was to take medication to just quiet me out, right? To basically hide all of the issues that I'm dealing with. So I
Yeah.
never learned skills to actually deal with ADHD. So that is a huge reason, if not the biggest reason, on why I became a holistic ADHD coach for men. The reason I put the holistic in there is because when we're working together, I'm not, again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, right? I can't prescribe you medication, neither would I recommend medication because I believe in you have to put in the work. And the work is never easy, but the work is necessary. It's not that something's wrong with you, right? God forbid. It's not that you're dumb, God forbid. Your brain just works differently. And once you understand how to use that, right, it could be a superpower. And on top of that, right, to tap into your superpower, you have to understand how the superpower works, right? Like any superhero movie you ever seen, it always starts off where they're trying out the new moves, and
Yeah.
he doesn't just start flying out of nowhere. He you know, levitates off the ground and, flies into a wall or something, right? Like it took time. He had to hone his skills. And it's the same thing with the superpower of ADHD. You have to be aware of the things that you struggle with in order to excel in the things that you do well with.
Because
So,
it is neurodivergent, and like when people ask, I'm gonna ask this is probably because it spontaneously came into my brain. People ask, don't they, what if you could have any superpower in the world, like cliche things, say, what would it be? And loads of people say, I wish I could fly.
yeah, flying is, I think flying is an interesting one, right? And I think the reason why people wish they could fly is because they wish they can get away.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
think,
true. And that
I mean,
there's pros and cons to it, isn't there? There's flying towards something, and then there's like flying away from. I'm hoping that people take it when people take this video in their head and that, and they walk away. They walk in the right direction, not the wrong one, and that they try their best to help themselves as well. Like
yeah, God willing. Well, you think about it, right? When you go on vacation, what are you doing?
we fly to
You
it.
you
Yeah,
fly to it, but you're getting away from your everyday. You're flying away from your everyday life, you know?
yeah,
That's why people want to fly away. Life could be really difficult at times, and when you get away from your regular routine, it's like, I'm on vacation, right? And your
Yeah,
vacation is your modern day, let me fly, you know? The vacation's temporary though, isn't it?
yeah, of
But
course, yeah.
it's the modern day fly. Like, I need to get away. Let me fly. Let me fly to Morocco. you know, let me fly. Let me fly to Liverpool. Like we're trying to get away.
You mentioned before you lived in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have been myself.
yeah.
I managed to go to America. I've always wanted to go to America. I like all the American stuff. I have a shed full of all American memorabilia. Route 66. I could go on, but I could probably bore you with the detail. And I got the opportunity to big flight, big plane, long hour flights. But people say it's like the movies. It's very hard to agree, no, disagree, I suppose, because it is overwhelming. It probably does take about 30 minutes, I think, to get to your room because the hotels are massive. But there's something
Right.
about it that it uplifted me, and I was like, wow, look it. I mean, Netflix. I saw a Netflix store, which I'm a movie buff kind of guy. I like my movies and series, and so I see a Netflix store, and at the time it was Stranger Things that was the big thing, and I was just overwhelmed because it was like a shop, and then like an exhibition type thing. They had all the animation and all the like mad stuff that goes on in the film
Hmm.
there, and and the clothes. I was trying my best, putting them on to see and that, and because size difference, and I'm about 5 foot, so you can imagine I look like Dappy or something. I don't know. It was good though. It was memorable. It's stuck here in the brain. The brain's a very interesting thing, and it's a powerful tool in the body.
Absolutely.
But we have all these disorders, and it can be stressful. It is stressful having ADHD, Harry.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. You know, specifically in relationships, right? Your relationships. Whenever you get in a relationship with someone, right? It's definitely as an ADHD man, right? Or woman, right? Your partner should definitely know before getting into a relationship with you that you have ADHD. Again, not that anything's wrong with you, but there's things that a person should have in mind, right? For instance, impulse, like we have very low impulse control. Um, you can find yourself being oversensitive and getting angry over, like, really angry over things that a person shouldn't get that angry over. Um, and these certain things can really, like, it can really annoy a person, you know? Forgetfulness. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times that I misplace things, and it can really bother someone's partner. It can really bother your spouse and or your girlfriend or whoever you're in a relationship with, and a lot of patience, not just on the person who is dating, someone who has ADHD, but also on the individual who has ADHD. You have to have a lot of patience with yourself. And you have to have a lot of kindness with yourself because you have to understand that it's a process. You're a growing person. You are trying, right? And a lot of times we can beat ourselves up thinking that something's wrong with us because I'm misplacing my keys every 3 seconds, or I don't know where my phone is, I left something in the refrigerator when I went to get a glass of lemonade. Like, why? Like, what's going on with me? What's wrong with me? It's so easy to get into this like negative mindset that you just feel like something's wrong with you, and then you start to beat yourself up. So this is when in the beginning, I was saying, like, it's really a superpower, right? But until we really understand what we struggle with, right, and why we struggle with it, then you're not going to be able to access that superpower. And it's
Well,
essential to access it. You need to access it.
yeah, definitely. And our villain. is self-sabotage. I think we do a lot of that.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
do.
For sure. We, a very common one that a lot of people with ADHD happen to do, and they don't even realize that they're not the only one doing it. A lot of men that I talk to who have ADHD, there is specific negative belief, right, that we tell ourselves, and that is, why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough? And it
I've
comes up,
said it in the past.
yeah,
I have. It took me a while. It took me a long, long time to actually start believing in myself. To grow as a person, because you've got the other option. You've got the option where you just let everything just be oblivious to what's your surroundings and just start to fester in all your pity and your self doubt and your anger and all that, and then it will drain you. You've got to replace the battery at some point because they drain. But yeah, I've been down that rut, but I've grown. I'm a seed. I'm a
hmm
new seed. Throw me in some soil and put water on me and watch me grow, and I have.
and that's a beautiful thing, by the way, and it's not a given because growing, as you know, because you've done it, it's it man.
Yeah,
It
really
is
is.
hard, and that's why you have so many people in the world who are like, this is who I am. If you don't like it, deal with it. Because to really put in the work, it's sweat and tears, you know? And it's not a given. Like people think, oh, everyone's a growing person. Everyone works on themselves. No, they don't. It's not a given. If you work on yourself, you're a warrior. And not everyone's a warrior.
Of course, of course. Now, ADHD, apparently, is it running the family? Can it be running members of the
Or like
family? Can it?
genetics,
Yeah, genetics. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it could be, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure my father had ADHD, but my father had me when he was like 59 years old, right? My dad was born in 1933.
Wow.
So I'm we were all pretty confident that he had ADHD, but like, no one was tested for ADHD in that time.
It does make me laugh, but now obviously now it's all different. You can get diagnosed and that, but it's just frustrating because it should have always been there in the first place, shouldn't it?
Right. Look,
Yeah.
I'll also tell you this, Josh. I'll tell you this. I also do, even though I call myself a holistic ADHD coach, I hate when we have to put a title over something that we struggle with. I'm
No.
not a
Yeah.
fan of it, right? And it shouldn't be used as a crutch, right? It shouldn't be like, oh, I have ADHD, therefore I can't do this. You know? No, no. Even if you have ADHD, you have to understand you are powerful beyond measure.
Of
You
course.
need to know that. You know what I mean? You need to know that in your gut that just because you struggle with something doesn't mean you can't do anything that someone else can do. You just have to work a little harder. A lot of people with ADHD, they really struggle with negative beliefs. So if you've been telling yourself, that you're not good enough for 25 years of your life, how many times do you think you're going to have to tell yourself that you are good enough until you're able to change yourself from believing that you're not good enough?
The more times you say to someone, "Worthless, you're worthless. You can't do that right. You can't do," you
You're
start to
destroying that person.
yeah, you start to go. You know what, Mick? You're kind of right now because it's buried in the head. The brain's taking in that information, mixing it all up, and then going right. It's obviously true. So that's what you're going to start saying later on.
That's why it's so important, man, that you need to protect yourself of who you surround yourself with. You know, the worst thing that a parent can do to their child is say negative things to him or her.
Of
God
course,
forbid you have kids and you make them believe that they're stupid. They're going to think they're stupid, and they're going to have so many issues because you never made them feel that they're smart. And then they're going to live life thinking that they're worthless, God forbid.
Hats off and hands up, because that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing.
You went through that?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Really. You
So
know.
you
You.
know.
So going on to positivity.
Yeah.
Let's raise the roof up. There's got to be some positive things about having ADHD. A positive impact on
Hmm.
coaching it, because people are now you can. It's relatable. Of course, isn't it? It's relatable. The sort of things that you can relate to because you have it. So, what's it been like coaching? And has any impact happened with ADHD, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Coaching men that have ADHD is the most rewarding work that I've ever been involved in. It it is an unbelievable gift to be able to be working with the people that I work with. And I have so many stories, but I'll share one story in particular. My first client ever, right? My first client ever, who is still a client to this day, right? He came in right into my program shy, right? Extremely shy. Um, he wanted to start, dating, right? Um, and in the Jewish world, in the religious Jewish world, right, where you start dating, right, it's not like what the Western world thinks dating is, right? In the Jewish world, when we date as religious men and religious women, we're dating for marriage. There's no touching involved, right?
Nice.
It's literally like we're asking questions, we're getting to know each other, and if we feel like our values align and we want the same thing, right, and we can see each other being there for each other and growing with one another, that we align with one another, right, and then it's like, okay, you know what, marriage, you know it's not as like flat as I'm making it sound, but it's beautiful because it's like there's no lust and any sexual distractions, anything like that, right? It's like you're really getting to know the essence of a person, and you're not distracted by what we usually get distracted by, right? So anyways, like when we first started working together, he wanted to, but he wasn't ready, and his parents didn't think he was ready, and now he's ready, and he's in the process, and his parents are behind him, and it is the coolest thing to witness, and I'm so proud of him. And if he's watching this right now, you should know you make me smile, man, every time we work together. And I'm so proud of him, and that is such a it's beautiful to be part of that transformation with my clients. And thank you, God, he's not the only one. you know, I have stories on all my clients that when I see where they came from when we started working together to where they're holding now, you know, it brings
Yeah.
the biggest smile to my face. And I have to say that every single person that I work with, they're warriors in my eyes, right? These are men who want to live a healthy life with being neurodivergent, right? They want to live the healthiest, happiest life and have tools, right? In order to feel like they can do that. And these guys put in the work. They do. Every single one of them are warriors. So, and to work with me, you got to be a warrior because I'm going to put you to work. I'm going to put you to work.
What does the work entail, Harry? What type of work do you provide for people?
So it really depends on the specific thing that we're working on, but it's one-on-one sessions, right? Within those one-on-one sessions, we're doing different things. We're getting to the root of it. We're rewiring your brain. And what I mean by that is
Yeah.
when we were talking about negative beliefs, right? If you've been telling yourself that you're worthless for 25 years, that needs to stop, right?
Yeah.
And behind all of our negative actions, there is something that you're telling yourself that is reinforcing that negative action. There's a root cause from it, right? And together we explore what that is, right?
Yeah.
And through exploring, there's different exercises that we do. I give homework, whether it's meditations, journaling exercises, affirmations, random things that I feel like that you need to do, that can definitely feel uncomfortable, right? But if if it's an exercise and I'm asking the person to do it, I expect them to do it.
Yes.
And also, I have one client. I he has a morning routine that I have him doing every morning, and an affirmation, and he needs to text me every single day after he does it. Right? So I'm
Yeah.
very hands-on with the people that I work with. Like even though we might be meeting once a week, this client, we meet 2 times a week, and he messages me every single day, and I'm on top of him every single day. You know, so
Of
I,
course.
I take it I take it very, very serious, very personal, because like if someone's coming to me, I take it as a direct message, right, from my
Yeah.
creator that this person's entering my life for a reason, and we got work to do. I take that very
Journaling is a really good. Sorry, interrupted you then. You
no
say
worries. No worries, bro.
journaling. That was a hard one for me to write. How I felt, how my day felt.
Mhm.
I've got a journal book that I each day write out whatever days I've come across each day, and writing things down. And it took some time. Like, what was like goals, and how was you feeling that day, and
Mhm.
what could have been better than that? And you're scratching your head trying to think. It does open your eyes a bit more. It gets your brain thinking. Journaling is a really good thing. People keep at it if you are doing it. I do recommend that. Really do.
Yeah, journaling is powerful. Journaling is extremely powerful. And again, everyone is going to be drawn to a specific exercise. Some people might not like one exercise, but they like another exercise. At the end of the day, that's super cool. You know why it's super cool? Because you're discovering what works for you, what you vibe with. And that's what it's all about.
Of course. Yeah. What's it like being a father?
Wow. It's the biggest gift, man. It's hard, right? It is extremely hard, and you can get very sensitive, right, with your kids. My daughter's 3 years old. I have a daughter that's
Mm.
3. I have a son that's 1, and my daughter's 3. Like, tonight she was like, but you don't love me. You don't love me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I love you. I love you. She's like, no, you don't love me. I'm like,
Oh,
what? I love you. And it's like, I'm like, after I put her to bed, I leave the room. I go to my wife, like, but Diane says she doesn't love me. And my wife's like, she loves you. She loves
yeah.
you. And then I start to think to myself, of all the horrible things I must have said as a kid to my parents. Um, God knows I was a piece of work, like,
I was a little bit hard work myself,
we
but
must
we're
have
all
done
good.
we must have done something right, because we're here. We're here right now.
We're here right now. Ari, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Josh. Man, this
Yeah.
was really nice.
And you know what? I feel like I've connected very well with you. And you're sticking on my Facebook, and it's nice to chat to you. If
Yeah,
anything
man, we're
crops up in
Facebook
my mind,
official now. We're
yeah.
Facebook official. It's we're gonna watch each other's Facebook videos.
Thank you for the support and that. It's great. Happy days.